Hello everyone and welcome to our sleep lecture channel. Have you ever been woken up by your own terrified scream? Or maybe your partner told you that you were screaming in your sleep last night? It's a pretty startling experience, right? It can leave you feeling disoriented, scared, and wondering what on earth is going on. Well, you're not alone, and today we're going to dive deep into the world of sleep screaming, or as it's officially known, night terrors. So what exactly are night terrors? They're a type of parasomnia, which is just a fancy word for unusual behaviors that happen during sleep. Unlike nightmares, which occur during the REM or rapid eye movement stage of sleep, night terrors happen during the deep non-REM sleep stage. This is why you often have no memory of the event itself, just a lingering sense of intense fear and a racing heart. You might sit up in bed, thrash around, and yes, scream, all while being completely asleep. It's important to distinguish night terrors from nightmares. When you have a nightmare, you usually wake up and can remember the scary dream in detail. With a night terror, the person experiencing it remains asleep. They might appear awake, their eyes can be wide open, but they're not conscious and are often difficult to console or wake up. The episode typically lasts from a few seconds to a few minutes, and afterward the person usually falls back into a deep sleep and remembers nothing in the morning. Now, you might be wondering, what causes these terrifying episodes? The exact cause isn't fully understood, but they're often linked to factors that disrupt our deep sleep. Things like extreme tiredness, stress, fever, or even a full bladder can trigger them. Sometimes underlying conditions like sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops and starts, can also be a culprit. Even certain medications or changes in your sleep schedule, like when you're traveling and dealing with jet lag, can play a role. Night terrors are much more common in children than in adults. It's estimated that up to 6.5% of children experience them, especially between the ages of 3 and 12. This is partly because children spend more time in deep sleep than adults do. As the brain matures, these episodes usually become less frequent and often disappear completely by the teenage years. So if your child is experiencing them, it's usually not a cause for major alarm, though it can be very distressing to witness. For adults, while less common, night terrors can still happen. They affect about 2% of the adult population. In adults, they are more likely to be associated with psychological stress, trauma, or other mental health conditions like anxiety or depression. If you're an adult and you've started having night terrors, it might be a good idea to think about your current stress levels or any recent life changes. So, what can you do if you or a loved one is experiencing night terrors? The first step is not to panic. If you see someone having a night terror, the best thing to do is to ensure they are safe. Gently guide them away from any potential hazards, like falling out of bed or bumping into furniture. Try not to wake them forcefully. Shouting at them or shaking them can sometimes make the episode more intense or prolonged. Just stay with them. Speak in a calm, soothing voice and wait for it to pass. Prevention is often the best strategy. The key is to focus on good sleep hygiene. Try to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's internal clock. Make sure your bedroom is a sanctuary for sleep. Dark, quiet, and cool. Create a relaxing bedtime routine to help you wind down before you hit the pillow. This could be anything from reading a book, taking a warm bath, listening to calm music, or practicing meditation. Reducing stress is another huge factor. If you're feeling overwhelmed, look for healthy ways to manage your stress. Regular exercise is fantastic, but try not to do it too close to bedtime as it can be stimulating. Mindfulness, yoga, or deep breathing exercises can be incredibly effective at calming the nervous system. Sometimes just talking about what's on your mind with a friend, family member, or a therapist can make a world of difference. Also, be mindful of what you're consuming before bed. Avoid caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol, especially in the hours leading up to sleep. While alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, it disrupts the quality of your sleep later in the night, which can increase the likelihood of parasomnias like night terrors. If night terrors are frequent, causing significant distress, or leading to safety concerns, it's a good idea to talk to a doctor or a sleep specialist. They can help rule out any underlying medical conditions like sleep apnea. In some cases, they might recommend a sleep study, where your sleep patterns are monitored overnight in a lab. This can provide valuable information about what's happening in your brain and body while you sleep. In rare and severe cases, a doctor might suggest treatment options. This could include therapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, to address any underlying anxiety or stress. In certain situations, medication might be prescribed, but this is usually a last resort after lifestyle changes and other therapies have been tried. For parents dealing with a child's night terrors, reassurance is key. Create a calm and safe sleeping environment. Make sure there's nothing in their room they could trip over. A consistent, soothing bedtime routine is especially important for children. If the episodes happen at the same time each night, you could try a technique called scheduled awakening. This involves gently waking your child about 15 to 30 minutes before the terror usually occurs, keeping them awake for a few minutes and then letting them fall back asleep. This can sometimes disrupt the sleep cycle just enough to prevent the episode. Remember, a night terror is not a reflection of your child's emotional state or a sign of a psychological problem. It's a developmental phase for most kids, a temporary glitch in the sleep system that they will outgrow. The most important thing is to stay calm and provide comfort and safety. In summary, screaming in your sleep, while frightening, is usually not a sign of anything seriously wrong. It's a sleep disorder called a night terror, which happens during deep sleep. It's more common in children and often linked to sleep deprivation, stress, or fever. The best approach is to focus on improving your overall sleep health through good habits, stress management, and creating a peaceful sleep environment. Don't try to forcefully wake someone during an episode. Just ensure they are safe. And if you're concerned, especially if you're an adult experiencing them for the first time, don't hesitate to seek professional medical advice. Understanding what's happening is the first step toward peaceful, scream-free nights. Thank you so much for joining our sleep lecture today. We hope this has been helpful and has put your mind at ease. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more insights into the fascinating world of sleep. Sweet dreams.